Thank you very much, Ulf. I'm looking forward to this. Yeah, so let me start off giving a quick introduction. So my name is Martin Morsing Larsen. I'm newly appointed as CEO and at Conferize. I joined in February 2021 and have been working together with the board over the last months, really to realize our strategic plan to get Conferize into what we call profitable growth. Let me talk you through Conferize here in the following slides to make sure I do it right. Here you go. So Conferize, just to give a few highlights on who we are. Our core product is really a full integrated events and management platform. Our history is really, we've been established in 2011, and we've been listed in the Copenhagen Nasdaq First North since 2017. As it stands right now, we've built an organization where we do have representation in the Nordics. We are in UK, we're in DACH, in the German-speaking region of Central Europe, and we are in Southern Asia as well. Our delivery model as a tech company is really we're providing a software as a service model where we're working with, to stay compliant. We're fully aware of the fact that we are holding customer sensitive data and fully aware of that. And we are using our hosting capabilities to remain as scaling operations. We're working with a partnership strategy to focus on co-creation. We integrate with the right partners, and we're looking always for new complementary partners to enrich our services and our capabilities. In terms of adoptions, we've had 50,000 event attendees through our platform since we started. We expect many more, of course. We're looking forward to see that happening. We are currently in a position where our offering period starts this coming Monday and would be running for 2 weeks. We are putting in an offer with a share price at 22 euro in Danish kroner, which should be available through your financial institution. Just to give you a glimpse on what Conferize actually is, with one of the elements we are seeing at the moment as an event tech platform, we are essentially supporting the full process from event creation, from event planning, throughout creating the right level of marketing material, i.e. create the website, the content, but also ensuring that you go through the process of registering your audience, you get the tickets, you do the billing if needed. And one of the aspects we're focusing quite a lot on is really to ensure that our attendees and our organizers keep engaged. We have created light social service collaboration really to ensure that you as an organizer can keep in touch with your attendees before you're getting to the actual venue. A venue can be, that can be physical, it can be hybrid, it can be online, but whatever, we're there to help that getting done, and so to speak, also support throughout the delivery of it. The final aspect of what we're doing is really we're capturing the feedback and we keep the audience engaged. We at least create the platform for doing so. And all of that is really in one platform, enabling what we see our customers are looking for is really to get much more into understanding the data their audience needs and delivering to the outcome of what they're doing. So let me see if I can switch to the next slide. Here you are. What we do see Conferize provide is a significant lower technology cost per event. We do see that by going in with one complete platform with the integration opportunities we can provide. We also provide the opportunity of doing better events with a reduced effort. And since you're having everything in just one system, it gives you a better overview of the full process from your plan to actually follow up. The other feedback we're getting from our customers is really they do see that they're getting a higher insight on the behavior of the attendees before, during, and after the event. It's really an important point because at the end of the day, doing events is often a matter of finding the right content, sending this in front of an audience, and often you actually just need to understand what's going on here. Why have you registered? Why do you want to invest half an hour, potentially an hour, maybe even 3 days and travel to the other end of the world simply just to attend here? Just trying to understand why are your attendees actually spending time on this particular event? This is something we actually spend some time on, just trying to get that level of knowledge in. That means you as an organizer can deliver the right messages to the right audience. A little bit about our partnership and our product strategy. One of the key points we're really doing is that we believe that Conferize is really about providing the full the full coverage of the process from you start your planning until you're done and you can start planning for the next event. The other part is also we are fully aware that there are aspects that we're not providing, i.e. logistics on actual venues. You may actually want to use other components for that, which is fine. But that's why we have created an integration framework that enables our customers to use Conferize for the planning framework and actually use other components to actually hone in to that full experience. Other good examples are really that we do see that there are organizations being member organizations where you have member systems you want to plug in, or you have your CRM system, or you, for that matter, want to do some billing in your ERP system. We do integrate those parts, and that's really by making the complete experience for both for the organizers and for the end users. Another component we're looking very much into at the moment, and we're currently in dialogue with several different partners in really expanding the service. I think right now, when you're talking flat out of doing conferences or events, I think we've had all of our team meetings or Zoom meetings and what have you, and all of that is really great. We've learned that during the COVID period, and before that, we were pretty used of building our agendas when we went to events. But we also see technology actually gives other opportunities that are really important to look into. So right now we are having dialogues around augmented reality. We're looking into potentially having even larger scale broadcasting. It could be elements of logistics or gamification, really elements that would just complement the full experience and the opportunities you as both the organizer and the attendee would take benefit of. For us, that's really what we call value-adding services. It's really expanding the entire service, and it's some of the aspects where we're looking in to build a new revenue stream together with partners. We started that journey in March. We are looking forward to hopefully within the next couple of months start present some of the outcome of that efforts. But again, that's really the strategy. Keep a strong process with the Conferize platform, integrate and expand the service with value-adding partners. So let me see here. So when it comes to the market and the potential for a platform just as Conferize and a company like Conferize, we did an assessment on the data points we could find in the market when we did the very first assessment. We looked at the overall spend level on events. 2017, that was estimated at just about $1 trillion. I'd say in Danish terminology, I'd just say that's a significant amount. It's huge. We're also seeing that just the global spend on event management systems, just like Conferize or other systems, were in 2017. That was less than 7 billion. But the interesting point was really even before the COVID-19 outbreak came, there were an annual growth of almost 12% in just using organized systems to help facilitate this huge potential of $1 trillion. That's essentially a lot of the potential we are tapping into. We're seeing a growing market at 12%. We do not know how the numbers look like after COVID-19, but at least what we can say at the moment is that we see a lot of uptake and a lot of interest in trying to, at least as from an organizer perspective, to ensure that you really know what outcome you want to deliver, and you want to make sure that you're getting in better control of what you're doing. So that's really one of the indications that we're seeing is coming this way. The other thing I really wanted to say is that we see that really different ways of delivering events is coming. A lot of organizations are talking about hybrid events. I think most of you have probably experienced of being in an online meeting and having someone being in a physical room, and just finding that this mix of realities is actually not the easiest one. It's something to work on. It's both about technology. It's about learning the methodologies. It's really about knowing the audience and the way you should work and communicate in some of those areas. And it's something that we keep on having a very stringent dialogue on. We also see that a lot of the digital opportunities that are coming in, I mentioned gamification before. Let's take one of the concrete examples we all know, Kahoot for an example. Why can't you be both online and in the same room and actually do a Kahoot? There would be different ways you can, so to speak, integrate that in to create a full event experience. Now, similar to Kahoot, there are many other options and opportunities to look into, but that's really where we can start build the whole full-fledged experience of working with events. And for us as Conferize, it's really also realizing it's the double-digit growth in events management services or systems that is creating the opportunity of working with the Conferize platform. So what are we going to do about it? One of the points we have addressed is really that with a platform just like Conferize, it's not like a billing system, so you do not have that many regulatory constraints you need to take care of. There's a lot when it comes to privacy and data management, just like any other technology today. But it also means that we have a fairly large market we can tap into. We've just decided right now as an organization, we want to deliver a sustainable platform where we can create a close intimacy with our customers while we are actually building up a new strong customer base. So where we are focusing at the moment is really on the Nordics and the UK Ireland markets. Really we know that just those markets together is really a significant portion, both in terms of event execution, but also just in acquiring. They're fairly digital, so it's market that could see a potential in going there. So that's where we're focusing at the moment. We're looking very much to actually go to organizations that are having more than just 10 events per year. That's really where you start feel that if I'm not really structured enough, if I'm not really there, then it becomes more like a hindrance I need to take care of. This is where we can help, and with our pricing model, also where we can really, really make a significant difference in what we're doing. We do see that there are a lot of different ways of attacking events. There are different ways of going into the event market. We see that many corporates, many public organizations are having different needs of either doing sales and marketing activities by doing seminars, any roundtable meetings, which can be more leading into a sales process, but it could also just be a matter of keeping your stakeholders engaged. That can be external and internal, but really a huge market to tap into there. to make it happen and make it real. It's also about the event organizers and the actual venues. There's a lot into there, and we definitely know that it's a part where we see that for them, events are really revenue streams. The more they can optimize the process, the more they can simplify it, the better their profitability and their competitiveness. What we will look in as we are expanding our journey is really to look into new sales channels. Right now, we're working very much on doing direct sales. We have our sales teams working on basically canvas cold calling at the moment. We use the tools and means we can, but we're definitely looking into having more like indirect sales. We want to position that over time. We definitely want to look into having reseller and partner strategies to even build up upon that. And we do not see that the Nordic part of Europe should be our boundary. We definitely want to go for additional geographies. And one of the other aspects are really that we as a platform can support many different event types or many interaction types. And the vertical offerings part is really something we are looking into. We're planning to deliver even further on when we're getting into towards the end of the year. While we are focusing so much on growth, by all means, we are working in to keep our Conferize platform a rich experience for our end users and our event organizers. Just a little bit about our business model. As mentioned, we are working on an annual subscription model. It's very much focused in on driving a higher use and ensuring that you actually deliver on a lower cost per event delivered. It's also about delivering cost transparency. It's a simple pricing model that helps us moving forward. It's by all means a subscription model is also supporting our cash flow. We ask for the money upfront, but it's also an element where we need to be aware of the fact that selling a subscription for 1 year is also where you need to focus on the usage and the customer success, and by that the retention of our customer base. So it's really one of the other legs. It's not just acquire new customers, let them go. No, it's actually to create the stickiness that actually makes it worthwhile to stay with Conferize. And with that being said, our business model is very much about delivering on execution. It's about creating a scalable cost model. And what we've communicated to the market, and I'd be super glad to iterate this point, we're working on a break even in next year. And some of the levers we're putting in, that's really following a good part of our sales strategy, delivering growth now. But it's also about a scalable cost model where we've basically reorganized the entire organization after basically this year, and we've reduced our cost base really to make sure that where we're spending our money right now is primarily on attaining and market share, but it's also about ensuring that we keep our product current and live. As mentioned, moving on from break even, our ambition is really with the plan we're having right now is to be able to further fund our journey ahead. We do see that there's a lot of investment potential in going out and obtaining additional market shares. But what we're looking for is really this proof of delight, if you may, that when we earn our own money, and then we can either give back to the shareholders or even further go out and gain a stronger case for Conferize. So this is what we're looking for. In short, sorry, I should jump. In short, that's my story for today. I can say that it's our story with Conferize now being ready. We are fueled for the break even we're working towards in 2022. We're keeping our focus relatively simple. We do want to drive growth. I've said that numerous times. I'll keep that focus. But it's also about keeping our eyes open for partnerships, simply just to accelerate the growth journey we're getting at. Having all of that said, we need to make sure that our money lasts much longer, and we are keeping our eyes on that as well. In other words, this is my story about where we are. I'm looking forward to hear a lot of your questions when it comes to that. Just wanted to iterate, we start our offering this coming Monday, and you should have all information available through your financial institution. And with that being said, Ulf, I just wanted to just give a few links that if you need any more information, if you need to know more from us, use our dedicated mail for that, offering@conferize.com, or you can visit our webpage for this particular offering. I think that was it. So I'm open for questions, Ulf, if there are anything I can do to support here.
Thank you very much. I have some questions here. You have been on the market for a while. What are you doing different with this new approach?
So that's really a good question. I think there are a few things we're doing different. I think the journey with Conferize were really steaming well on by, with more than 50,000 attendees, but it was also very much a freemium model where it was about gaining enough attraction. We are focusing at the moment very much on the direct sales component. We want to speak to the decision makers, and we're looking very much to ensure that we are getting the right conversation where it's about revenue for us, but it's also about value for our customers. So our direct sales model is probably where we're changing very much as it stands right now.
Okay, it's a compelling plan with some market potential. You joined the conference in February. When are you ready to execute in this plan?
Well, you would say when are you completely ready? I don't know, but I think there are a few good points. At least I can share. I started the plan together with the board already in December. We created a plan. We communicated already there. That was very much focused on really following 3 phases. We started to talk about what we call an agree engage phase. That was for about 3 months. We're about there now. That was about setting the new team. It was about getting the right funding to profitability. But it was also about getting the right go-to-market approach. I talked about the go-to-market approach. I'd say in many, many ways, we started actually selling and interacting with our customers just before Easter. We have landed the first customers now. So I'd say we're actually there in what we would call right now. It's a matter of proving the entire journey of where we are, and we are going to spend the next quarter, potentially 2 quarters, to refine and iterate our offerings and our go-to-market journey until we are zooming in on becoming industrialized in our sales mechanisms. That's really where we want to drive profitable growth and still keeping focus on cost.
You mentioned COVID-19 in your presentation. How has the pandemic influenced Conferize, and what's your response to the new normal post-COVID?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm looking forward very much to see how much, if I can take it in two ways. I'm looking very much forward to see the actual implications when countries are starting to open up for events and what have you, because I think there would be a lot of change in demand of both from the attendees and the organizers. There would be a much higher need for having an option to choose whether you're online or whether you're physically available. But as for Conferize, well, it's pretty obvious. Conferize had a very hard time. It was a company that weren't really ready to be on the, being in a closed down situation as we were in 2020. So it was tough for us. We needed to basically restart the company. And that was a part of the journey I was at, to really help find both the new strategy, the new way forward, but also really to find the funding to make it happen. And I think those are some of the elements we've been looking very much into now. I know we're out with this offering I just talked about. We are glad to say that right now we have a pre-commitment from investors of almost 50% a little more than 50% actually, of that offering, which is a very promising act that leads us well on the way to make this happen. So we're looking for full sign up in those terms.